Bob's got us on air.
Not yet. I guess so.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to the regular session of the Fayette County Board of Education on this November 18th, 2025. I'd like to ask y'all to stand with us as Mr. Chris leads us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Chris. Thank you, board members. Amy, let the record reflect all board members are present this evening. We have an exciting agenda. No public delegations or comments, but we're going to get started with some special recognition this evening. So, Ms. Dooley, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. So you see a beautiful trophy in front of you. Everyone says that good things come in threes. Is that not correct?
Yep.
So this is the first, let's hope, of our threes to come. We have another, and we hope another one will come after that. But we're pleased to present Midland Trail High School golf team, Mr. Crouch and Mr. Pettit and Mr. Gladwell. If you guys will come on up here, please. The three principals from Midland Trail.
They're in the cheap seats, Miss Dooley.
Are they?
Yeah.
Across the street at the church.
So we're going to introduce the golf team. And
Yeah.
don't know how, which of you guys want to come up to
I don't
the
mind
golf
being
team?
with state champions.
Okay.
That's right.
No, you guys go ahead. Y'all enjoy it.
So, Mr. Pettit, how long have you all had a golf team?
Look at Mr. Chris get up
Golf team's been off and on for about 15 years, depending on number of participants every year.
This is a big deal.
But I will say, we hired Justin Barnhouse as head coach 2 years ago, and he looked at me on the day we hired him, and he said, "You're going to win a state title." And I wanted to believe that, of course, but I think I laughed a little bit, didn't I, Coach?
Come on up, Coach. You coming up,
And then
Coach?
2 years later, now he's
So we're going to introduce every student on the roster, okay? Yep, that's right. So Coach, Coach Barnhouse, as I read the kids, I'll have you give them the certificate and then we'll get in there, unless you guys want to come over and do that.
You go right
Good.
ahead.
Okay, we're going to start with the roster as it is with the SSAC. Our first student is Ryan Stevens, 12th grade. Okay. Okay. All righty. Madison Rader, 11th grade.
So I asked the student earlier, what's your handicap? What's the golf score here?
Maddie really has about 6 months of playing. First year competing, we took her to the Girls State Invitational, which is held the day after Labor Day. And she placed in the top 10 in her division in the State Open Invitational.
We have 11th grader Ava Campbell. How long has Ava been playing?
Got a quick story on her?
Oh, I've coached Ava since she was in youth league basketball. But Ava competed in the championship division, which is against Triple A, Quad A, Double A, and Single A, and placed in the top 25 in the Indy rank. So Ava seems great.
Yeah. 11th grade Alyssa Campbell.
Alyssa competed in the Open division, which is single and double A, and she placed third.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
They can.
Yes, sir.
So girls, how long have you all been playing golf?
6 months.
Okay,
Well, that was easy for them.
yeah, Ava? Okay, so 2 years.
Both of them are third-year players.
Yeah, great.
6 months to 3 years, that's.
And then Alyssa the same? Wonderful, okay. And our gentleman, Cameron Thomas, 11th grade.
He remained in my top 4 all year. He also finished all state this year. Yes, sir. Junior, third-year player.
He can stand right there.
Yeah,
Just stand right there.
we're all going to just squish in because we've got a lot of kids here.
That's good.
Okay?
This is a
Okay,
great
all righty.
day to have this.
Okay, sounds good. Evan Adkins, 10th grade.
He's not able to come.
Okay, all righty. But you know this next kid, Jackson Barnhouse?
Yeah. Jackson, sophomore, he's a second-year player. Jackson was our first alternate, so he was able to go to states and regionals with us this year.
Okay.
Good job. And you know him?
So,
You know him?
Yes, sir. That one's mine.
Yeah, we thought
Give it up a
so.
sign. I need all the help I can get. Fair enough, fair enough.
10th grader, Caden Tomlin.
Hayden's not able to come.
Okay, all righty. And 10th grader, Jacob Brown.
So, Jacob actually won the entire state event as the low medalist.
And so, what did he shoot?
Jake was
I'm doing this again next
so
year, right?
Jake shot at 82 the first day and had a 2-stroke penalty caught against him because of it. Another player kept the wrong score. And
Oh,
not only did he recover from that the second day, the next day he blew the field out.
and so what's blowing the field out? What did you shoot?
He shot maybe 76
Oh.
or something the second day. And so you combine
Yeah.
both scores on both days. For those that don't know, that course is a very tough course.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's a lot
and-
of angles.
Could have been very easy to be upset about a simple 2-stroke penalty. Jake recovered, so very proud of Jake.
It's not how you start, how you finish.
10th grade, Gage Eads.
Football.
Okay. We're hoping that another one of those trophies is coming from the football team, our
Yes,
number
that would be
3.
great.
And then we have 10th grade, Landon Cordell.
Landon was my 1 seed 2 years ago. He battled for the 1 and the 2 seed all year. Some things that people don't understand. All state in golf is during the state tournament, but I will tell you that kid's an all-state player to me all day long. During the regional championship, Landon was the lowest on our team. But unfortunately, the way all-state works in golf, it's the day of the state championship. So, but Landon was very much deserving of that recognition as well.
10th grade, Van Wood.
He's sick,
Okay.
but he was in my top 4, and he also competed at state grade. I got a message on the way over.
You have a lot of underclassmen.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And then we have 9th grade, Mason Williams.
Sick.
Okay.
Well, there's a cold one around.
Yes, there is.
We're actually smaller than we were last year. We had 17. This year we had 13. Big golf groups, yes, sir.
If this is everybody, let's
This
try
is.
to make it you and put the
Here, guys.
state trophy in front of you and we'll get a quick. Bob takes about 100 pictures at one time.
Take, yeah, you can take it. Yeah, I'm a golfer. I'm one of the few women golfers around. I golfed in high school, so.
I told you, good job, guys. and get out there.
Yes, sir. Run back. Hey, I like seeing you here instead of the sidelines on basketball.
Do we want the administrators and the board with the picture, with the trophy?
Hey, I'll come watch. I'll come watch.
You probably got enough on you. You got enough on Bob, get up here. We got Bob, get the light angle in.
Oh, my
Get the wide angle lens.
Put sunglasses from the shining while that guy.
Wait.
Oh, we gotta get. No,
I wondered where you went. Here, get him.
All right.
Here we go.
All right, hey, this is ready. All right. Got it. I suck in, boys. I think I retired from the army.
That's called table muscle.
Take care, Coach. As we celebrate 50 years next year, this is our first year.
That's amazing. That's great.
Thanks for helping.
What's your coach's name?
Justin Barnham.
Like bird and fish.
Justin Barnham.
Did he teach you?
No. He's not retired.
Put him in the car, that's right.
So we're switching, kind of switching folks coming in now?
Let's let them file in here real quick. Got a couple of Bears fans in the audience, I see. No? Is that your team? Your team, right? Oh, I got you.
So is this?
You just,
FCA?
that's what you're wearing for right now for the team. I got you. There we got a whole nother crowd. This
We
is
do.
good.
We have flip-flop.
Is those your boys wearing Bears? Is that one of your boys wearing a Bears jacket shirt? You're claiming now? Are they going to claim you?
Well, I don't know if they're gonna claim me, they're kind of shocked.
No, not that one. Where's Mom tonight? Is this her
With,
respite care?
toddler's sick.
Gotcha.
All right, Miss Dooley, we
Yes,
have
sir.
everyone? All right,
We
so
do.
more recognition. This
Right.
is wonderful.
Yeah.
So
It is.
I'll turn it back over to
Okay,
you.
so we all know that it takes a community to raise children. The school system collaborating with the community, and that is from grades K to 12. And so we are so pleased to present Brett Floyd and the program he has done with FCA involving the community and our children.
Thank you, Ms. Lilly. I emailed earlier and I said, how much time do I have? And they said 5 to 10 minutes. And I was like,
Actually, it was 5 to 8. I did tell.
formal social studies teacher and a minister, y'all were in trouble. No, I'm just picking. I'm excited just to share real quick about FCA. So it's Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I'm the area director, so I'm over FET, Nicholas, Raleigh, and Wyoming County. And I just want to say we have about 2,000 students a week that's attend a student-led in the school Bible study, but it's student-led, so it's legal. And our students are the ones in charge of it, which is what's great because they're developing these leadership skills. FCA's in 115 countries, every state, United States. We do all kinds of stuff. Like, for instance, we do a coaches marriage retreat for high school coaches and their spouses. We know how much time they put in to our kids and our athletes. It's not just seasonal. It's all year they're putting into them. So we offer for them to go to Glade Springs for a weekend. We pay for it, and we just let them go and relax, and we just kind of pour into them for the weekend so they can reconnect with each other because, they're at practice all the time with our athletes. So that's something we do. In top of the schools we do. We also do camps. We have 2 camps we do, 2 power camps, one right here in Fayette County. And something new that we're starting, the very first ever, is we're having an All Abilities camp this summer. And All Abilities is just like Special Olympics. But it'll be the first FCA All Abilities camp in West Virginia, and it'll be held right here in our area. So we're excited about that. But tonight we're going to honor actually our sports leagues. So I'm going to have all of our kids come up first. So if they would come up. So we have a elementary basketball league, an elementary volleyball, and an elementary flag football league. So these Bears jerseys you was talking about, Mr. World, that's actually part of the team. So we kind of partner with NFL Flag.
That's cool.
So they get to wear uniforms for NFL teams. So this is something that's really, really exciting. So FCA, so our area in West Virginia is part of the Great Lakes region. Now, being a social studies teacher, I don't know why we're part of the Great Lakes region, but we are. So it's West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan. So if you think of all the big cities, Detroit, Indianapolis, Cleveland, Cincinnati, we are the very first and only FCA sports elementary volleyball and flag football, and we're only the second basketball, but currently the only basketball in the whole Great Lakes region. I was able to go share at our regional meeting, and so a little old Fayette County has become the blueprint for the whole Great Lakes region for FCA sports elementary. So we are just excited what's been going on, and these guys right here are part of our league, and I just wanted them to come up so we can honor them for playing. We have coaches here, so if you're a coach, would you come up?
I'll make them claim me this time.
Well, you're taller than them right now.
And I couldn't be here if I didn't honor those who have helped us run these leagues. So if Kristen Shannon, Ab Shumate, and Stacy Carroll were Stacy? Stacy? Yes. So I might oversee it, and I might be the one who's kind of in the background, but these three run all the leagues for me, and we could not do it without them. We couldn't do it without the coaches. And most importantly, we couldn't do it without the Board of Education letting us use the facilities to have these sports leagues. You don't know how big of a blessing that is to us that we were able to use the facilities to have these leagues for these kids and these coaches to do this league. So I want to say thank you for that. That's been the biggest blessing to us, that you have been a part of this community and helped us do that. So thank you. And then there's parents here, so if you're a parent, come on up because you're part of this too.
She's like, if you go, I'll go.
And Tracy's actually on our committee for our all abilities, so she's part of this too. So she's helping us with all abilities. But this is something that's great that's happening in our region. We're growing each year. Our volleyball went from 6 to 8 teams this year. And we think our flag football is just going to explode. And we know our summer basketball league is going to explode next year. But thank you, and thank you at the board. And thank Mr. Payton for always working with me and being patient, for getting all the facilities, papers in and doing what we need to do to make sure everything's correct. But we're just excited, and thank you for having us here to do this. So. I don't want a picture.
I do, I will organize their volleyball team.
This will be like our pose, like we're back in football.
I am.
Wait, you gotta get her in there. You good?
All right, everybody see
You want to
me?
stand over here? Wait,
See
here,
you.
wait a minute, wait.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now you want to
All right, you ready? Got it.
Wait a minute.
All right, something else?
Can the kids do something goofy behind it?
Yes.
Go ahead and do something.
All right.
One of mine and yours or something. Oh, that's enough. Good seeing you guys. Are you guys going off to games now?
Practice.
Practice? Okay, have fun.
Thank you guys so much.
Good job tonight. You smiled.
Good job, Brett.
You did too, Mom. You smiled well tonight. You did all right, buddy.
Go to practice.
Your boys are gonna be taller
Brett.
soon. Are you guys in trouble? I'm hoping.
Proud of you, buddy.
Yep.
Well, I should have said, this man right here is one who started SCA here.
Well, we appreciate you continuing this.
Thank you, Brett.
Good
job.
I love that shirt.
I miss it, but
Stay out of trouble?
Doing good, my man. Yeah, I understand. That's really cool. That makes the night right there.
Yeah.
Room got empty. Well, I told them they don't get extra credit if they stay, but they're more than welcome. They said, we're going to practice. Well, we know whose cell phone. I would call you, let you know.
We certainly enjoy starting our meetings out this way. Yeah. So And then Mr. Warville asked me, he said, can you get up and get down on your knees to take a picture with the kids? I said, oh, I can get down for sure. Getting up's another question, so.
Yeah, I gotta watch how to ask the question.
Those days are gone.
All right, I think we're ready to invite Mr. Payton up for construction updates.
While he's coming up, you all have a packet in front of you with the SBA presentation that he did. And I'm getting the trays right now. I figured you could help with that. Yeah, I'm good. There's only 5 this time.
Oh, yeah, not as many as last time. That's right.
Mr. Payton and I went to the School Building Authority, and we're giving you an abbreviated version of our presentation.
That's empty.
But like I started with,
Full of information.
One of the people that were on the committee that vote on this said what you said, they're empty. So you are adults sitting this close together with empty trays and no silverware. Now think if you were at 14 to 18 and you had a full plate with silverware and now you're tight. We wanted to share that story so people know how tight our kids are at that high school. You can also read on there information that's also in your folders, but what happened was everybody remembered our presentation.
Yes, they did.
Mr. Payton did a good job as a principal in that building at one point in time, but also as a facilities director. So he's going to share with you our presentation on the board.
Under a little less pressure.
Yeah.
Mr. Warville came up with the great idea of using the trays and putting that information on there. I think it was a great idea. It made a great impression. And I know that the reporter that talked with you afterwards said that our presentation was one of the best she had seen. So I think it stuck with them. You know, we had about 8 minutes to do the presentation.
Like I did to Mr. Floyd.
Yes.
That's what they did to us.
Yes, exactly. About 8 minutes. I am not going to take, much longer than that, but I don't feel as rushed this evening. So, first of all, good evening, everyone. It's good to see you all. So we're going to talk just a little bit about the Oak Hill High School.
You want me to be your pointer?
Yes, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
because we can't point on these television screens.
Now pay attention, Coach.
So you can see there's, Mr. Warville, if you'll just point out the existing cafeteria area right above the.
Okay, so when you come in the main thoroughfare here, our kids eat in the hallway, but then you have the cafeteria here that's pretty tight, and then our kitchen's pretty small. That doesn't meet today's standard, if you will.
Yeah, so that's the area in highlight there.
That's current.
That's current.
That's current, but it's overflow, because we're actually feeding students in the lobby, the entrance area to the school.
Right.
And that's that.
Tables there?
There are-
Yes, there are tables
Right
there, and we're going to show you some pictures of that here in just a minute. But if you look, here are some of our issues, very crowded conditions. Proximity of students to the entrance of the school is a big deal. They're right inside the front doors at lunchtime. Kind of that makeshift cafeteria area inside the lobby. Of course, the kitchen itself and the cafeteria, outdated equipment. There are some, I consider them to be fire safety items because it's outdated. The school was built many years ago, and we haven't had a really good update on some of that equipment for a very, very long time. Also, a concern for us, and it is a health concern, and could be a safety issue, but it's definitely a health concern, is the number of students that participate in the school breakfast and lunch program. There are long lines and crowds, and students don't want to wait in those lines and, fight those crowds. So, and of course, we, with the recent issue with government funding, a lot of emphasis has been brought upon food insecurity because of funding with the SNAP program. But that has been an issue for a very, very, very long time, and especially in Fayette County, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. So a proposal that we have for this area, I want to back up just a little bit, and then if you don't mind, I'm sorry, Mr. Warble, but the cafeteria that they're in now is about 3,000 square feet. It needs to be about 9,000 square feet. The kitchen that our cooks are preparing the food in is just a little under 2,000. It needs to be over 4,000 square feet. So our cafeteria is about a third of the size it needs to be, and our kitchen is about half the size it needs to be, okay? In order to adequately serve our students and give them the room that they need. And then the room that the cooks need, you know, to prepare these meals for them. So some of the things that we think we're going to get: reduced safety concerns, again, due to adequate space and modern appliances and fixtures; increased student participation. If we can get funded for this project, we can, in that new cafeteria and kitchen, incorporate different options, you know, for our students, and give them the room to participate in those options, and not just have to stand in the long line. Of course, the space can also be used for curricular activities, with, you know, the possibility of STEM and STEAM spaces. We can use some of the furniture in there for classroom furniture, as well as for cafeteria furniture. And then one of the things that's kind of important, and kids mentioned this as an issue, is the proximity of restrooms to that area. Especially to the gymnasiums. They are down the hall. They're not that far away, but they're not that close either. And I think most of you are familiar with that issue. So having that ability to do that would be good, and also being able to create a hallway into the auxiliary gym, as we call it, because right now you basically have to go through the old gym to an exterior hallway and into the auxiliary gym, or go outside to get there. Completely outside. There's no real good way to get there from here. So, yes, sir.
The restrooms,
Yes.
Go back a
about
slide.
where would they possibly end up being?
If you go back a slide,
How,
Coach,
so, yes.
you can see
Should I put you in the gym?
right here, this will all become restrooms.
And then
Right
there's
across the
right
hall.
across from the new hallway that will enter into, or a new entrance into the auxiliary gym.
So that would
So-
allow the use of those during activities as well?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, those would be available for
You can block
after-school
off the other
activities,
part.
ball games and things, yes.
So that will
Yes.
help our custodians in the evening while there's games. You can block it off, and then people can't go down that hall to that area.
Right, we can
More
shut it
security
off.
there.
Yeah, it's better security, plus this area, like you said earlier, this could become a multi-purpose area
Right.
for food. You might have meetings there, you might have clubs there, you might have tutoring sessions there. You could just maybe move a class out there because you just want to have a different space to use. But you can see how much space we're getting with, if you go back a slide, Mr. Payton, look at all this space that is being used, that is open right now. So we have plenty of room, and then we
Yep.
could do that while kids are actually in the school building renovating, and it won't cause a disruption, or minimal disruption, I
Yeah.
should say.
What's the rate?
This
Is
is,
it
this is,
going up the higher,
this
that space there?
Kitchen.
kitchen, this is what a kitchen should be, a size of, then you have the cafeteria. So really the kids, if you put a salad bar up here, then the kids could go out and get their salad bar and go eat. Right now, when you put a salad bar, Mr. Pence could tell you, it works, but yet it doesn't work. We make do.
The space back here, you're
Right here,
on back, beside, keep going towards the
this one?
gymnasium. Is that all enclosed there
Yes.
Yes, yes.
permanently?
It will become
Well,
permanently enclosed in.
In other words, is that the old, part of the old cafeteria?
So let me walk over
Well-
here. Let me walk over here, sorry. So Coach, the old cafeteria is here.
Right,
Okay, this is the old kitchen area.
so we're building a whole new
Okay.
cafeteria?
So we're going to
Yes.
build, this is a new cafeteria here.
Okay.
A new kitchen here, but we're going to keep this as cafeteria space, but also as some, either STEM, STEAM, curricular space of some
Be kind of like
kind.
open areas
But
there.
it would be open with modular walls and modular furniture, so we could open those walls at lunchtime, and the furniture would serve a dual purpose.
I
We
know
could
you'll
use it
get
at
this
lunch.
probably, but how many the new cafeteria, how many students at tables can you seat?
This will give us space for about 450 students.
How much you have right now?
So you need about 15 square feet for a student. We have about 580-ish students at lunch right now in a space that's designed
Yeah.
for maybe a third of that.
Yeah,
So if you put about 500 here, we got all
You
this
got all
left
this
over.
room over here too.
2 lunches or 3?
Too.
Well, 2 lunches, right,
Amen.
yes, yes. As a principal, you don't want to spend all
No.
day doing lunch.
Now, Coach and the rest of the board, I did say when we presented, I said, if I was you all, I'd ask us a question. Why give you that money when you could go to 3 lunches?
Doesn't work.
And I said, here's why you can't do it. One, you want to start the day early enough and end early enough because of extracurriculars. 2, we're supposed to teach our children and not watch them eat all day. And you can't do 3 lunches without pulling teachers out of the classroom. As far as I'm concerned, we want to teach them the dual credit, the AP, and traditional classroom setting. I don't need people watching students eat food. But we have to have people watch them because that's what we're assigned to do. So that's why we're doing 2 lunches.
Yeah, and Coach, I've done the 3 lunch thing too, and
I have too.
it doesn't work. So you spend most of your day in the cafeteria.
And the school stays disrupted.
Yes.
That amount of time,
Yes.
you say, oh, they're down the hall.
Yes,
It's disrupted, no matter what you say.
yes.
I might be getting ahead
That's
here,
okay.
but I think this picture here really illustrates
Yeah.
What's that?
the need for,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, we got the kids that are
Wait till
working.
we show you 3D of it.
Yeah. So, just some pictures here of the kitchen existing as it is now, cleaned up and things were put away. But you can see it's pretty, it's not the most modern place. Not a lot of room. That's the inside refrigerator. There is an exterior. Well, going back here, some of the kitchen equipment is actually in the cafeteria too. And then the outside freezer, which, I mean, kind of works, but not always. So it could be better. And then this is the entryway. This is students eating in the entryway of the high school. You can see there that's the picture, Josh, that you were talking about. Now this picture, it goes back, or this slide goes to what I was talking about with food insecurity. And I don't like reading things to you, but I am going to read this one. 11 of West Virginia's 55 counties are classified as in persistent poverty by the U.S. Census Bureau. That means they have a poverty rate of 20% or higher continually for the past 3 decades. And Fayette County is one of those 11.
And our number is 96.64%.
Yeah.
That's very high.
Some information, here's some data. So as Mr. Warble just said, 94.64% of our students are classified as needy, meaning that they qualify for free reduced lunch. But of course, all of our students, because of our levy, and thank you very much to our voters, for that, receive free lunch. And then, of course, just some research that shows that a well-designed school cafeteria encourages students to eat. And there's a lot of good information out there about that. If you're in a place that's enjoyable to be in, and you're not sitting on top of each other, and the space is welcoming and inviting, you're going to want to be there and participate. So, and then, of course, this last one I thought was real interesting. Food insecurity on this page. Food insecurity is correlated with unfavorable mental health and behavioral outcomes among children and teens. We know that our children deal with this, and we know that we're doing a lot to try to help them. A lot of different things that we're doing. These are some numbers that we talked about before. Approximately, there's not 1,060 students, about half of them at lunch, 580. The number of students participating in school lunch this year has actually gone down because of the conditions. So we've had a reduction of about 9%. And I gave you those numbers earlier about square footage. Bob, is there a way for you to just click that second link there?
Yeah.
And go to YouTube? The second one, Mr. Warble, the second one is actually an automated fly-by, fly-through. So
That
we can
one-
just let it play
do
just for a
its thing.
second, if
Yeah.
you don't mind.
I think that's better than me driving because you get kind of sick if I do it. I think the SBA really appreciated Mo. We got to thank Mo for doing this.
Yes.
He did it over a weekend before our presentation on that following Tuesday.
that's the
And-
entryway here, right, Tim?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the entryway.
And I think this gives people a better perspective of when you walk into a safe school entrance, the main thoroughfare is right there where, and the kids behave pretty well considering, honestly.
They do, yes.
I was there Thursday during lunch for a meeting, and
It's tight.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for doing it this way, because me trying to drive it was not the best.
Well, thank you to Mo.
Okay, well, thanks to Mo, then, I
Yes,
appreciate it.
Exactly.
But you guys can see, it's tight without students there, and once you sit kids there with a full plate and walk through there, you're just asking for trouble, people bumping into one another.
If we get the plan, what we're seeing now, what's going to be there in the future?
So in that space would be that, the curricular space that we're talking about, that, the modular space with modular walls and things like that, yes.
It'd be like a cafe space,
So
like the higher
it could be,
tables, you know,
right.
that kind of stuff.
So we
Could it
could
be
use it
used
for
as
lunch.
classroom space?
We could,
Could it be used as classroom space?
yes. Well, we don't want it to be designated as permanent classroom space. We want it to be space that people can flow in and out of.
Okay.
So like labs that you would reserve time in. Because we want to make sure it's available at lunchtime, you know, for various programs at lunch. Either whether that's some people eating a special lunch or maybe a team getting together, you know, and having a lunch together or something like that. Just all kinds of ideas that we could do with
And
that.
you know the restrooms, additional restrooms out there will save you a lot of headaches.
Oh, yes. A lot. You and I have both spent many hours of duty in that cafeteria there, Coach.
That'd be a big help.
Yes.
I know you heard a lot from Mr. Payton and myself. Mr. Pence, do you have anything to add that we might be leaving out? Because you're over this.
Yeah, I might just emphasize, you know, with that number, that 9% number, it's an interesting way that we came up with that. We had Chef Maggie there this last month, and we saw a 9% bump up, increase in participation.
Right.
And initially, we thought, oh, that's because of these additional offerings. But then what we found was she continued to offer those additional offerings, but she moved them back to the line where they serve. And she had moved out into the foyer, kind of where the cafeteria joins the foyer
Right.
at that corner. And there's a lot of kids kind of passing through there. It's a crossroads. And so when she was out there, we captured an additional 9%. And we moved it back to where it's designed to be served, and we dropped 9%. And so that's where we got that 9% drop. And so basically what that told us was it's a structural issue. You know, this isn't designed for what we're using it for. We're just doing the best we can with what we've got.
Could I ask a couple?
Absolutely.
When you were
Bob, if you don't mind, go ahead and take this off, the video, and we'll go back to the slide presentation.
When you were showing, I'm getting a headache. When you were showing, that's
You
why.
ought to see what happens when I drive.
When you were showing the outside and that freezer out there, you said
Yes.
the freezer just works so.
Well, I mean, it works.
Is it something we're going to keep or are we
No.
going to take it out?
No, I mean, we have to keep it now,
Okay.
but if we redesign, if we get funded for this program, it'll be inside.
Okay, now, you're just about there with that second question I was going to ask. Do we have a backup plan in case we don't get funded?
We go back next year. But I'm not trying to be, I mean, that's our backup plan. Our backup plan is we just keep trying. And this isn't the only school that needs this. I mean, Midland Trail High School is in a very similar situation. They're a little different in that their cafeteria space is more adequate. I will say more adequate, but, you know, not as tight as we are at Oak Hill High School. It's more adequate, but their kitchen, just, I mean, it's comparable to Oak Hill's in that they don't have the space, they need storage space, they don't have the space really to move around in there. It's the same age, they were built at the same time, you know,
So one thing that we found out from the SBA is this year they're not doing what they did last year. They're gonna do it every other year. So let's say we said, well, if you can give us 2 million this year and maybe 4 million the next year to finish it out, or, you know, dibble dabble with doing it that way. They said, well, they did that last year. That's why they have less this year. So next year they'll have more money to start maybe doing that again, where they'll do it in a cycle like that. So what we'll have to do is just go back and ask again. And I was told that our presentation was spot on, but when you say a needs project, what we need, someone else might have a higher need. With a leaky roofs to HVACs to just remodeling. I know our neighboring county is remodeling Woodrow Wilson, and they're going to bring $12 million to the table. and they're asking for about 12 million, so,
But we're
you know.
bringing a good amount of money to the
Yeah.
table, though. And that's a credit to, you know, to our board, our superintendent, our chief school business official. I mean, thank you. I've been in her office several times, have not asked for money,
I know.
okay? No.
So Tim, couple questions.
Yes, sir.
Related to this, more to this conversation, but, so we're looking at about 9 million.
Yes, sir.
Ask here in total, 6 from the SBA, 3 match.
Yeah.
What's Midland Trails, and I know we don't have the architects.
I do not have that.
rendering.
So
Ballpark figure for Midland Trail.
I would say we're probably 2/3 of this amount if you want me to just ballpark it without holding me to a whole lot of, you know, things. I'd say that right now in today's dollars, probably about 2/3 of that, because a lot of that is kitchen and storage. And then we do want to renovate the interior space, obviously, okay? And bump it out a little bit. But it's not as much cafeteria space as it is kitchen, you know, food preparatory space, serving space and things like that.
Yeah, so something
it's-
just to
Which is
think-
expensive. That's the expensive
Sure.
stuff.
So just something to consider, if we don't get awarded this year and we go back next year, could we do a combined plan where we do both?
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
To think about.
We sure
that,
could.
so.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think the big part of that, the expensive part, is kitchen and then bathrooms, because Midland Trail has the same problem as Oak Hill.
With
as-
restrooms,
It's,
yeah.
it's, and you guys will see that on the climate culture, and we'll bring that to
Yes.
the board. But the student survey and me meeting with the advisory council, and that was just yesterday, Mr. Payton and I talked to the kids, and restrooms and vaping are together, and that's, if we can fix that, the kids are pretty happy with everything else. I mean, really, and I get it, because you're the most vulnerable when you're in the restroom. And if you can't go to the restroom and you feel threatened, well, then that's a school safety issue on the internal side of it. So we got to address the restrooms while addressing cafeteria at the same time.
And Mr. Gray, there may be an opportunity, maybe in a work session, that we could look at the CEFP and look at our priorities and say, what's on the list, what's coming up, you know, how do we want to, because it's going to be, we're already halfway through this CEFP.
Right.
We've checked off a lot of things. You know, we need to start thinking about the next CEFP or an amendment to this CEFP. You know,
And
we are.
both these items here at Oak Hill and at Midland Trail are
Yes.
part of the current CEFP.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
They're
they're
like
both
number-
identified in CEFP.
Question.
This
Number
is
9 of 10.
Oak Hill is number 9. So,
When we upgraded Midland Trail for the middle school, several years ago,
yes,
we didn't do anything with the cafeteria at that time, adding
No.
number of students.
we did not.
So it does, like Mr. Gray said, I have to agree that if we can, it'd be good to make it a total project with both schools when it comes to cafeteria, because they're both in need. Now, I understand what you're saying about maybe Midland, but if their kitchen's not upgraded, they're not, you get some unsatisfied people working there possibly with it, because it's difficult.
It is, it's
And
very
you give them a better
difficult.
space to work in,
Yes,
of course, that'd be better.
Do we have the room to where we could expand that?
that's tight over there.
It is.
Yes, it is,
As we come out
but
front,
yes, we can.
please drive.
I think you go down along the side of the school a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's some space there. We'll have to, you know, move some parking spaces and things like that, but it is what it is. We got to take care of the kids, so, you know, but I think you kind of head towards the football field a little bit.
The swelling hasn't gone down since COVID. So a kitchen that we put in, this is stainless steel, state-of-the-art, up-to-date, is 700 to 900 a square foot. You can see where all the money's going. That's a lot of money, and that's today's kitchens. And if you want to challenge me on it, just Google it, and you'll say, my gosh, that's on the low end possibly. It's because when you're with the school system, you get a little bit of a break, but not much. It's
But-
expensive to put a kitchen
Like
in.
the idea of trying to bring those two projects under the same umbrella.
Yeah.
If we go back, we have to go back next year for Oak Hill. So we get the Oak Hill project funded this year, how long we have to wait till you take Midland Trail back?
Just the next year.
We get back to
I'm
next
gonna go every
year.
year, Coach.
Amen.
We need to just keep asking.
It's a needs
Amen.
project. You just go
So-
back, and then until Paula says, okay, boys.
That's enough.
One last question, I promise.
No, you're fine.
The space between the current, where the outdoor freezer is,
Yes,
and the back of the auxiliary gym, We're gonna close that space in, be no space at all, in it, right?
No.
Okay.
Yes, we are going to close it in, there will be no
There'll be no-
space,
okay.
correct, yes.
Thank you.
My yes meant no, or my, one one or the other.
I understood.
I thought I was following you too. I guess.
Yes. No, sometimes I was like, did I say that right? Okay. Let's look at a few other pictures of some updates of some projects that are going on. That's a gorgeous baseball field. That is
When are you gonna mow it,
amazing.
Mr. Pate? I'm just messing.
It's an amazing baseball field. I like to go, when I go over there, that's the first thing I do, is just look at that baseball field.
First thing I said.
It's just really, really, really
Yeah,
nice.
really.
It's coming along, fencing is coming along, of course, the lighting is in. We're talking about a lot of other things, things you don't see, so sewer lines and, underground conduit and piping and things like that. But it's all there, just putting a lot of the pieces together. We have 3 contractors working on that site, and they are doing an awesome job of working together. It's amazing. It really is. So Swope with the new
I
school.
watched them put the drainage in a lot of times. I tell you, those
Yeah.
fields should drain.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was over there today, during one of the hard rains. And of course, the infield dirt was wet,
Yeah.
but you didn't see any water sitting anywhere. It was awesome. So that's the baseball field, and the pitcher's mound is in, so, and then the softball field, kept trying to get a good picture of the softball field. I was never happy with any of the pictures, but this is pretty good. It just shows you some of the progress there. And again, we have the sod down in the outfield and the dirt infield. But on this one, you can actually see the crushed brick warning track. If you look just inside the fence there, which is pretty awesome, very awesome. So it just looks really nice. And then the school,
On the
of
fields.
course.
Wow. At what point will you be able to enclose them so we don't have to worry about someone getting on the fields?
The fences are going up.
So, okay, good.
Yeah, the fences are going up now. There's fence posts there, so they'll be starting to put the fence in
That always worries
soon.
me.
I know.
I know it does you too.
Me too.
Mr.
That's all I thought about last Friday evening. I was rooting, for Midland Trail to win that game. But the whole time I'm like, please don't let some dummy park in the middle of my, my field. And I say my field, those are my
We took
fields.
care of that.
Okay?
We took care
Mr.
of that.
Payton,
That's
so
okay.
we anticipate, I know grass was a big obstacle. We were wanting to get that grass down, but so we anticipate dugouts, concession stands, all that stuff before opening day.
We will have a pad that we will set a bench on if nothing else. Okay?
Okay.
But yes, that's the plan. The plan is to have all of those things in. The only question mark right now are dugouts. We had some issues with those. Getting them just where we had to be. This project, this $12.5 million project that is now a little over $13 million, but anyway, I had to look at Paula. I didn't want to look at her, but I did. But anyway, there are just always issues. So, but most of the project is funded through lease purchase. So we have to make sure that things qualify for lease purchase. And we went back and forth on these dugouts, and I finally just said, look, that's not going to work. We have to do it this way. I kept saying it and saying it and saying it, but I don't feel like I was really heard, which is amazing. Generally, that doesn't happen, for me. But we're okay. We're fine. By February, we should have dugouts, okay? But if, for some reason, we do not have a dugout, that will be the thing. And I'm just telling you, that may be a thing, okay? Well, the slab will be there, the fences will be there. We may have to put a couple benches on the slab, and that's our dugout. There'll be a fence in front of it, just like there will be when the dugout is there. It's just getting the rest of the dugout up, okay? But I'm saying that at worst case scenario, that's where we'll be. I don't want to be there, okay? And the timeline we looked at today, we should be fine with everything being in place. But Josh, I just wanted to tell you, that is a slight possibility, okay? But the grass is in, and it's growing, and it's green, so it's doing really well. All right?
Great.
So baseball field, softball field, the school. coming right along. And inside, I like that one. So if you look at, I'm going to step over here if you don't mind. This area back here is the classroom space. This is the gymnasium over here. But this is classroom space. So these are the doors for the second floor classrooms. And right now, we have the decking going in. That is the ceiling for the first floor, the floor for the second floor. And that is going to be poured tomorrow. They're going to pour a slab on top of that tomorrow because the second floor will have a concrete slab floor, okay? And then once that is done, the ICF walls will go up to finish the second floor exterior walls, and then they'll place the steel ceiling joists, and we can start putting a roof joist, sorry, and then we can start putting a roof on this school. So this is one side, I'm sorry, Mr. Gray, I'm so sorry.
What's the thickness of those floors in second floor?
6
3
inches.
6 inches?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. So there's one side and then the other side. I just like that open space, that cafeteria. I was in the cafeteria at Ansted the other day, and then just to come and stand in that cafeteria, it's just amazing, just amazing. So, and there's the entrance to the school, taken from inside the school, looking out. But we're getting an entrance now. If you remember, several presentations ago, I showed you just an empty space, if you remember, which was going to be the entrance to the school. So we're getting some definition to it. Questions about any of that? Comments? Anything?
Good,
No, good.
good progress.
And still, the additional track items. at
Yes,
Midland
that's
Trail.
on every meeting. It's on the agenda.
So you've got Jim, you're keeping Jim.
I laugh because you know Jim,
Yeah.
right? So yes, we are keeping Jim on track.
Okay.
Okay, and he knows what we have to do. So, and he's gone back and forth on a couple of things sometime because I want things closer to the track.
Right.
You know, I don't, and some places on the campus lend themselves well to shot put or discus, but proximity to the track isn't great.
Right.
You know, so, and it may be that discus is a little bit further away from you just because you know, but everything else, I think it needs to be as close as we can possibly get it.
Sure.
Okay? And, Mr. Christ, I am not accepting no dugouts, but I just want to put that out there that, you know, that is a very small possibility, but it's a possibility. Okay? So, I mean, there are all kinds of possibilities, but I don't want to settle for it. I don't want to do that. I don't want that to happen. I'm doing everything I can to make sure it doesn't. Okay, short of actually manufacturing the things myself, which I can't do.
Mr. Chris, I'll
Okay.
take an elementary building built before the dugouts if I have to.
I don't think that's going to happen either. We will have dugouts before that elementary building is done. Okay?
It's a push
All
and
right.
pull, man.
Tim,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Tim, good
I
job.
was thinking, we can't spend all this money in a dugout.
All right. All kinds of great information this evening. So, Ms. Dooley, you're going to lead a contingent on our scorecard updates.
I am.
Okay.
We're starting our popcorn speed date.
All right. Bob needs to hit the lights
Bob,
again.
we just need you to lower the lights a little bit for us, please.
This is our October
Thank
data.
you.
And we'll start with Ms. Hedrick, and then we'll each take a turn. Here it is.
Our attendance rate for October was 93.428. Chronic absenteeism rate was 23.3. We've had, during the month of October, 2 dropouts.
All right, this one.
Before we move on, Matt, let me just ask, so Ms. Hedrick, we saw a spike in chronic absence in October. Is that something we expected, or?
Yes, sir. Typically, most administrators and teachers, and I know in the central office, October you see a lot of absenteeism, you see a lot more discipline, which discipline, when they take out the raw data, I'm going to call it the S1, 2, 3, 4, even though it's not that code anymore,
Yeah.
doesn't count against, but That's why we purposefully have an October attendance incentive.
Mhm.
So we try to encourage kids to come to school but, and I want to go ahead and say that, you know, when I'm looking at our attendance, and as it would come to filing petitions, truancy complaints with the magistrate's office, we have not done as much. So, started looking at all the school data, and we don't have that many that are 10 or above, which you don't file, even though the law says directly at 10, unless they're something that happens every year. But our numbers are slower getting there. So, I'm trying to get a feel in looking at both the percentages, the attendance percentages, and then the chronic absenteeism as well.
Okay. But good news is our year-to-date, we're almost 94%
Yes.
on attendance, and then still below 20% on the chronic. So, good work.
Ms. Hedrick, is there something that we believe leads to the spike? We went from 14.9 to 19.5, and then up to 23.3. So is there any particular thing that we believe?
Sure, yeah. It's, actually, Judge Kirkpatrick asked me this question in court. And we have a lot of hand, foot, and mouth that went around earlier, and it was pretty well run and rampant. And Maxine's very shaking his head. So we had kids, a lot of kids that were absent during that time. We had stomach virus, you know, that was going around. And I'm not going to be naive and think that, you know, we have some kids, they just don't want to come to school. We have some parents that they just don't send their kids to school. And those are our target audience.
Yeah. And of course, August, everyone's just starting school, you know, that
And
they're
so-
kind of excited to be here, so.
Well, they are, and then we still have some people that are taking vacations during that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And then we have others that, you know, just recently, they were on a trip and wanted educational leave, which our legislature took out. And
Yeah.
it was definitely a vacation, and we can't do that, so they have these families.
Plus October, you have a full month. August, you have 2 weeks. November, or September, you got Labor Day. I mean, you get a full month in October.
Also, remember, chronic is 10%.
Yeah.
So that's only based on 50 days. So that's 5 days absence. It's your mark. You know, so kind of keep that in mind too. But that's not a lot of absences at this point of the year, which makes us chronic.
And so one of the other things that we're doing a 20, 40, 60, 80 day poll. And we are comparing our lists and trying to figure out what it is. And I'll be quiet about attendance.
No, it's something that's important, right?
Yeah.
If our kids aren't in school, they can't learn, right? So they've got to be there. All right, Mr. Harper, sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. This one, whenever you talk to everybody across the state, across the country, this one in October is always higher. For some reason, there's a big spike in October, just like attendance. So our level 1s and 2s, we're up to 665 this year, or this month, which is 171 more than last month. The level 3s and 4s were 143, which is actually only 7 more than last month, which is a total of 808. Out-of-school suspensions, we had 130 students suspended, and that's 10 more than last month. And then the ISS, we're up to 90, which is 31 more than last month.
Mr. Harper, the in-school suspensions, where are we seeing most of those at?
Tokyo High School.
Okay.
Tokyo High, and they don't have an ISS teacher, they have teachers that are going there planning, do the
To-
ISS for that.
Okay, yeah, I knew we lost funding for that, but they're still
We're
good.
working on getting ISS, hopefully that will,
Okay.
which I think is actually one of the days in, so
Yep.
we'll get that. So.
Excellent.
On the out-of-school suspensions, are we just send them home with work? Are they on the
It depends on.
virtual?
If they like come to us or come to you guys, then they are put on proximity. But if it's just they're suspended, then they have to keep up with their work in one school.
So the school just sends them out, they give them work to keep up with?
To keep.
It may not be on virtual, though.
Yeah.
It
might not
it would be just
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And again, when they're out of school suspension, it hits our attendance. It hits our attendance.
Yes, it does.
So, yeah. So the more we can do in school, the better, but there's a cost factor to that. So
Yeah.
just trying to get that balance.
I'm next. I have a cold, so my voice is a little bit weaker than it usually is, so you have to bear with me. I'm going to present the beginning of the year data. It's just all combined, so these are just very vague general percentages. So if you look at K2 benchmark data, this is from iReady. We're at 14%. This is the beginning of the year, so we would expect these numbers to be lower. 3-8, so in that grade 3-8 band, again in ELA, that's iReady data. We're at 25% proficient for grade level benchmark. So that means that if I'm a third grader at the beginning of the year, we have 25% of those students that were proficient at the beginning of the year. In grades 9 through 12, we're using progress learning to measure, and we're at 29% in ELA. K2, again, in K2 3-8, we're using iReady data, and then in 9 through 12, it's progress learning. So for math in K2, we're at 9%. In 3-8 in math, we're at 14%, and by progress learning, in 9-12, we're at 12%. So that's the beginning of the year benchmark combined data. Promise Scholars, we gained 4, 3 at Oak Hill, 3 at Oak Hill, and 1 at Midland Trail. Our dual credit and AP classes were pretty much stable, plus or minus a couple of students. So you can see that at Meadowbridge, we're at 114, 39 students enrolled in dual credit. And that could be a student that's taking more than one dual credit class. So 39 dual credits. Midland Trail, we're at 105. Those two numbers stayed the same. At Oak Hill, they gained a student in dual credit. And then we get into AP courses at Meadowbridge, staying the same at 9. At Midland Trail, we went up by 1. And then at Oak Hill, we stayed the same at 153. And then the FIT, Midland Trail, Oak Hill, we're at 436. So we've lost 2 students at FIT.
The next, I'll do the next 2, and then we'll talk back over to Ms. Hedrick. Total enrollment, you can see that we went, this is straight from Zoom Meet, and so it includes whatever count that they include, which is pre-K. We're up to 5,080 students from 5,031 last month, which is kind of discouraging because last month was our second month report for funding. And we are up with students identified with IEPs. We have 17 students that received an IEP for the first time. And we have 23% of the population of Fayette County schools with an IEP. So that's remained the same.
So that's interesting. I had some conversations this weekend about average students with IEPs or 504s, and across the state, Rick Boothby from Bowles Rice is doing a study on this, and they're at 35%. So
Yeah,
we're actually,
we're lower than the state.
yeah, which surprised me. I thought, because we've gained more of a percentage of those students. So I was shocked to see we're below
So when we
the state
finish this,
average.
I'll talk to you about our school scorecards real quick, and some of the answers I'm going to give you may be why our special ed numbers are lower in Fayette County.
Okay.
Okay.
Don,
Yes, sir.
on the homeschool, and so forth,
That's Ms. Hedrick. She's ready to go.
She's going next.
and I hope you're in the Hope also?
Yes, sir.
You ready to go over first, or go ahead and go over to you want?
Okay.
Are you-
Yes, sir. Okay. So with homeschool, we now have, we lost a few. From homeschool, went to 485. Hope, we were at 396. And our private enrollment was at 225. I also attended a virtual meeting from the state that we were talking about the new changes for the 26-27 school year. And they are anticipating 20,000 new Hope Scholarship applicants because.
But they're all enrolled in the private schools and stuff like that, aren't they? A lot of them are.
Well, some of them are, but if you, they're changing the rule where you used to have to be enrolled in a public school or a first-time kindergarten student for 45, that's now off the table. So they're looking at everybody that is homeschooled, or has been in a private school that can now apply, and possibly 20,000 additional people that could qualify. And we have already started receiving. That day we had our meeting, the next day the new form became live. We received 5 the next day.
Just as you go on this, go back to my homeschool and Hope and private. The private is maintaining the number because that's all you can find right now. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
You think that's a pretty accurate number in our county?
I do. I think for that month, yes. Do I think that if they will give us that, I think it'll be different for next month because I've seen that some of our students that left public school because they were there 45 days to go to Hope will now be in they'll be in the Hope, but some of them didn't get the Hope, some of them just went private with their siblings.
And then it's hard for me to read. The private enrollment, I mean, not the private, but the Hope enrollment went to 486, down to 485, I mean. Is that, help me understand your numbers here, and like for the Hope is 430, 410, now
96.
whatever it is, I can't see.
396.
Yeah, you might.
Is that each month adjusting, or
Yeah.
what's,
So-
explain those numbers to me.
Yes, sir. So in August, we had 410 active Hope students. And then in September, we had 410. So-
Additional?
No, sir.
Same
Yes, sir.
students?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
And then October, we had some students that, for whatever reason, they terminated from Hope, but they had to be absorbed someplace else. And so it could be.
Did we get them back, or do we know?
Some of them we did, some of them we don't.
Who knows that number? Who knows where they went?
Well, if they reported to us, I mean, we can show an enrollment for a new student.
But can you show me every one of those students where they went?
No, I cannot.
And let me ask why not? I'm just being facetious
No, I
here.
know, I understand this, because the school choice and being able to locate them if they go to homeschool or a micro school or any place like that.
So it's difficult to track those students.
100% difficult to track those students.
The total numbers over here,
Okay?
is that just to show us how many we have? I mean, right now, the ones in,
Those are incorrect.
in the Hope
Yeah.
are the same ones, and now we've taken that by 3. Is that just, we're just trying to show how many, that number there has confused me a little bit. Why do you want to triple it for? What's that tell us right there?
I think it should be an average.
Right.
It's what?
That should be an average.
Yeah, the-
We just need to change the formula.
It should be
Yeah,
or
the
is?
formula's not correct.
It's not correct right now.
That's my question. Ms. Hedrick, I wasn't upset with you.
That's right, I understand.
Thank you.
This is our hiccups doing this for you
That's
guys
it.
this school year, and we're gonna get the kinks out by the new year. Give us till 2026.
You know, a concern I have, guys, I think, we have children. If you're a student in school, I don't care if you're a senior in high school, you are children. And we got multiple children, we do not know where they are and what's going on with them. And I hope that we can devise something, our legislators and the State Department and then down to the local level, to allow us to know where these kids are.
So, if I may, we voiced our concern, and an example of that is that the charter schools, when they get to 10 days or 15 days, they can automatically, by their bylaws, disenroll a student. And we've had that happen recently. And so, they tell us we have to pick them up immediately. But we don't do that because that's not a practice that you do. they'll send us that name. We have to find them and know what they're doing. So if they're
Who sends that name?
the charter schools, they send us an email, and they say this student has been disenrolled, and we are the last county of residents of where they were, and now we have to find them. And if we don't find them, or they go back and they check their records and they're not enrolled, they said they try this 3 times, they now have a practice that they send it to Mr. Kelly at the State Department, and then Mr. Kelly starts looking and reaching out to the counties to find out where little Johnny or little Susie is,
Right.
and what we've done to locate that child.
That's very concerning.
It's very, very concerning.
Thank you, Mr. King.
And Ms. Hedrick, under private enroll, that is not including charter, right?
That is correct. That is not the charter.
So our hopes are 396 could be spread within the homeschool, the private, and any charter that's out there, correct?
You know?
We don't really know where they're at.
Yeah, that's
Charter schools are public schools, so they wouldn't be in the
right. Right.
What's that, Paula?
The charter schools are public schools, so they wouldn't be in the HOPE numbers.
They would not,
They can't use their funds for that.
because they're getting regular public money anyway, aren't
Right,
they?
they're
Right.
getting state aid for them.
If our kids go there, they take our state aid, right?
Okay.
But they don't get hope money to go to the charter school, what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
I see that we have 135, and that looks like that's August data, 135 transfers within the county, or is that year-to-date?
No, we only do those, we only update those at
The beginning.
the semester.
Okay, I didn't know, I didn't know
Yeah.
if we had like a cutoff date for, like if you want to transfer from one school to another, is there a cutoff date?
No.
No, not really, but we don't really have many that apply during the school year. They kind of do that at semesters if they do.
Okay.
It's not very, and if they do, transfer, once the school year starts, it's mainly by movement, families relocating. Because you don't very often have them do that during the school year.
Yeah, and I was thinking because, and the FAE, right, is
Yes.
the folks that,
Yes.
if you have to have a certain amount of days for your achievement to count.
That's right, 135.
135.
Yes.
So, yeah, and so that's, I guess, where I was going with that. And then I guess my second question related to that, have we noticed anything, or I guess with, when a student goes from Midland Trail to, say, Fed Institute of Technology, how is that tracked as far as the FAE is concerned and things of that nature?
That's an excellent question. And so I was just looking at, Mr. Pettit. So when the accountability came out, Mr. Pettit and I started noticing that there was something that didn't seem quite right with FAE in the accountability methodology. The methodology is pretty in-depth, but we don't believe that we're being reported correctly. So we wrote to the Department of Ed, and they said, oh, your data's running in, you're behind, but we really need to look at this closer. Can we do a phone call with you all to really look at this data deeper? And we said yes, but then they haven't called us back to let us know when we're going to have that conversation.
So we think if that's the case, then our data actually would then improve,
For
if
Midland
that's
Trail
the case.
specifically, yes.
But we believe this is not just a Midland Trail or a county, this is a statewide
That's
issue.
right, it is.
For us, Midland Trail's just impacted more because
No.
of the percentage of their students that go to FIT.
Yeah.
Those kids should be weighted because of the classes they're taking.
Because basically, the Midland Trail kids. and
Funding
the
weighted,
kids
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That go to FIT, they're not being included in the dual credit
Mhm.
pile of your accountability.
Yeah.
Please.
So.
The guy from the back row, come on in.
The
Yeah.
mysterious voice from.
If this is preliminary numbers, like we try to dig in without talking with the state to verify this is accurate. But to kind of give you an idea of where we're at Midland Trail, 42 kids last year passed the SAT, school day SAT. Of those 42, only 5 do not attend FIT. So I believe 37 of my kids have been removed from my data, which would obviously negatively impact my scores. But they're also being removed for the academic progress towards post-secondary achievement, which is where, that's the road that started this whole path, so.
Right, so we made spreadsheets and we downloaded data from it and we started counting students and I sent it to the State Department and said, help me understand this. And that's when they couldn't.
Who are you working with? Andrea Kreiner?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And Georgia Hughes left.
And Miss Dooley and Miss Fridley are great with pivot tables. And I challenge anybody to try to ask their data's wrong, because we think that there's something wrong with our funding formula, that we're not getting credit on the good side. Because, okay, we got hit on the bad side, you see that, but we're doing a lot of good here, so why aren't we seeing that in our report card? And we just need a rationale behind that, and if we get that, then we'll report it to you as quickly as we find out.
No, I'm sorry, it's Paula.
Yeah. Okay. Our ending budget for October was $155,817,548. Revenues for the month was $9,780,972, and expenditures were $7,679,252. I did change the spreadsheet again, and this was the last time I promised. I went ahead and put my July and June columns in there that nobody else needs, and separated the July and August numbers.
I think for you, you need to do that, so.
Yeah, it was driving me crazy.
See, sometimes it isn't pivot tables, it's just adding a couple months.
Okay, so for the personnel report on staffing, we have remained pretty constant on the number of professional staff. Right now, we're sitting at 446. On the average, for the month of October, we had 37 professional jobs posted. On the professional absences, it has increased as with student attendance, student discipline. It's increased to 11%, a little over 11%. Breaking down the service staff, we have increased a little bit, 316 since last month. The average number of service positions that we posted in October is 5, and we've actually seen a slight decrease in service absence percentage. So again, October is a full month, and that's all I can say about their absences.
And so now we have our first climate and culture results, and our numbers have increased. With a place to work at 7.88 and a place to educate at 7.97.
We're almost at that 8.
We are.
So-
We were pleasantly surprised with our increase in numbers.
What's that number mean?
We'll let the survey guy tell you all about it.
That's the average response that tells us where, on the Likert scale from 1 to 10.
1 to 10,
Yeah,
okay.
So
10 being the best.
I mean, that explains it then, okay.
Yeah.
we want to be at 9, 10 eventually, but
Amen.
we got a journey, right?
We
So
are. It's a nice increase. And then finally, it's got our meal participation.
Yeah, so we'll do bad news first. On our lunch, we saw a slight decrease, and a big factor there is our largest school. Our chef left there, and like I said, they moved where they were serving those meals from out in the foyer back to the line. So now kids have to stand through that line, and we immediately saw a pretty dramatic drop in participation. So as a result, with some grant funding, I've purchased what's called a merchandiser. If you're ever in a store and you see like a big refrigerated thing, like in the house, it has like produce or has drinks or something in it, you can reach right into it and purchased one of those, we're gonna put it out in the foyer. That way they can stock a lot of those, items that were developed by the chef, the wraps and salads and sandwiches. And then we're gonna hope to see that bump right back up. So that's what we run there. With breakfast, we got an increase in participation by almost 2%. And a factor there is that we're trying out hot breakfast or traditional breakfast. A number of years ago, there was a bill called Feed to Achieve that passed. And what it required was for schools to do one of three different innovative breakfast strategies. Grab and go, breakfast in the classroom, breakfast after first. Now, what happened was unintentionally that replaced the hot breakfast, okay? And when I've been out in schools and talking to cooks and talking to students, all of them are like nostalgic about those hot breakfasts that unintentionally got replaced by these innovative breakfast strategies. So we've been piloting that at different schools, and we're seeing, a dramatic increase in participation at those schools. So that's something, that's improved there. Also, at our largest school, the cooks came up with an idea of a yogurt bar, and that's been a really popular breakfast. And whenever they put the yogurt bar out, so they have a chance to go down the line and get some granola, yogurt, different diced fresh fruit, and make their own yogurt parfait. We see a huge, bump in participation on those days. So anyways, that's a little bit of background behind that, but, yeah, a lot goes on in October.
This percentage we have, is that compared to statewide, is that pretty good?
Yeah, I want to say statewide is right around 63%.
About what?
63 at lunch.
63.
Yeah, and I think it's in the 50s at breakfast. I'll pull that yet. I haven't looked at that.
I think we're seeing, I thought, is this an improvement since you had the chef?
Well, you can see it dropped from September. Last year.
From last year.
Right in the low 60% range. So this is about par. Yeah. We're seeing dramatic improvements in certain schools, but we saw a regression in one school that has 1/5 of our population.
Yeah.
So I've spent more time there, worked with Mr. Warble more on that than all the rest of the schools combined. But it's a challenging, they've got a difficult space. There's a structural challenge there. So, yeah, so hopefully this merchandiser will be a nice little.
But we did bring in the head cook to talk about the climate culture in that kitchen. Is there anything we can do to help support you guys? What is it that you need? Just to brainstorm a little bit. But the yogurt idea was a great idea. So we said, well, if he agrees that it's healthy and they like the taste of it, serve it up. It makes sense to me. So I don't know what it takes to get that done, but it's working. But you can't serve yogurt all, after a while, too much of a good thing becomes not novel. So, anyway.
And then one last piece of our scorecard, which is not there, but I'll just verbally tell you, is that Mr. Gray had requested this year that schools do their own scorecard. And so I have some aggregate data from our school report cards. And when we talk about our special ed numbers being 23% as compared to the state, I'm just going to tell you some of the things that our schools have focused on this last month academically. Intervention. So 4 schools focused on intervention. And as you know, intervention has been something that Gary and Anna really had us work on intensely. And intervention helps children fill the gaps so that perhaps they don't need to go down the special ed route. So that's a real big factor in why our special ed numbers are lower, because we focus on intervention so much and helping children fill the gaps before they're so far behind that they can't fill them. We also focused on DOK and student engagement, mastery assessment, writing, high order thinking skills, and curriculum cycles. And when we look at a DOK blitz, we go from 1 to 4. And right now, this month, we were at a 1.89. Our goal is to get 2.2 by the end of the year, which is really high. And so 1.89 is really good for November. And we expect that to go up every month. We had 21 PBLs in the month of October from our schools. And then we had 37 different fundraisers that happened in the schools. And so that's the big rocks of our school data to report to you.
Very good. This, I know there's always a hiccup here and there in formulas, and that's okay. What we're doing with this scorecard is so much improved from last year. We really appreciate the work you guys are doing. Yeah.
It's a team effort.
I was gonna say, you see the group out here. We saw how we popcorn. Everybody's responsible. Everybody knows the data. That way we can all help each other get the data going, and then you know what's going on as well as the board. So, and you heard Mr. Pettit out there. He knows his data, and that's what we want our principals to be responsible for it. So it's a team effort, guys. It's a team effort.
And I think, Ms. Dooley, you mentioned the school level report cards. I think if you would share with the rest of the board the reception you got from the principals when we rolled that out.
So at first, they were a little bit not understanding why. They thought we were being a little bit invasive. But now, what's good is that it gives them a focus every month, and it gives them a target to work for, because they're all very competitive within themselves as a school, but as a collective group. And so they will hear them say, well, my DOK blitz was, like 1.6. Mine was, 1.7, but last month I was at 1.5. So we really have great conversations. And we're also taking this into our principal meetings to do curricular talks about what's so good about, a 1.5. Why do I have a 1.7? What's making my, walkthrough so much more dynamic? And what kind of innovative methods am I seeing in the classrooms? So it's really opening up our discussions, as educators, which is very exciting.
And with that innovation, I know Mr. Payton worked with some of the principals to do, to report out to the principals about AI. What are you doing to use AI so we know it's messy, we know you failed, but how did you move forward in failing forward? What did you learn? Teach us. We're trying to do it within our own principal meetings to make it more worthwhile. So when they come in here, instead of doing like this, we're making a U shape where we're collaborative and we're talking about, hey, what are you doing that makes you successful? Please share, because it's only going to help all kids in our county. So Tim had fun, let people know I was gone, that Mr. Warble thinks AI is steak sauce, A1, you get it? So it's another dad joke, sorry about that. But I like that when I'm gone at a training, I get made fun of, but it's okay. But from Mr. Payton, what did you do with the two principals you had lead that? How'd it go for you? Didn't you share out with that with the principals?
Oh, yes.
Who'd you have share out with that?
Well, I had several, actually.
Yeah.
More than two. They were almost all of the principals
Okay.
said something, yes. So it went extremely well. Everybody had something from something very simple to something a little more complex. People are all over the place, or in different places. I mean, I was myself. Just the example I use is that, Dawn and I attended a talk on AI in schools last June. Prior to that, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. After that, I was like, well, maybe I do want to have something to do with it. To now, I subscribe to this, this AI service and pay a monthly fee. So, there's been an evolution, and I see that a lot. Melissa, I think, does the same. I don't know if it's the same service or not, but we had that same little conversation. So it's just a lot of different people are in different places, but I see a lot of growth. And it's a conversation I have with principals now more than I've ever had. And it's part of a discussion when I go visit my schools and visit with my principals. We have a discussion about AI in our progress. Also with our aspiring leaders, there's a couple of different projects that some of my aspiring leaders are working on with AI. So it's all over the place.
It's pretty cool. And next month in December, for the superintendent's conference, the gentleman that he's referring to is coming back to do a 2-day training on that with AI. So whatever we learn from that, we will bring back and do like a train the trainer. And again, we're all at different places, but we're honest with people, and we're just trying to do the best we can, because there are good things about AI and there's some bad things and everything in between. But as we move forward, we don't want you to think we're just focusing on AI, but we do acknowledge it's out there to enhance the learning experience.
when, if you go back to our climate and culture, one of the big things that we see every year is workload, right? And if we can use AI to get rid of the tasks that can be replaced so they can focus on the data analysis and getting in interventions, it's a win for us.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Is that everything?
Any other questions on the scorecards?
Good
All
job.
right.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move into our 2000 series. We have items 2052 through 2059. Do I have a motion to accept?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Whitlock. Thank you, Mr. Chris. And I'll open the floor up to see if there's any questions or comments.
So I'll just start, because nobody said anything.
All right, Cindy, you have the floor.
Well, jump in.
54, I read that and read it and read it, and I thought, what has this got to do with sex and education?
It's Title IX.
I know. No. No, when you read it, it sounds like you're talking about.
Which one are you talking about?
Sex.
2054.
Yes, non-discrimination on the basis of sex and education is how I read it.
Yeah.
Okay? And so when I started reading, I thought, well, wait a minute, this is about sexual harassment. And I get it, but the way it's worded is very odd.
Yeah.
It's not about sex and education, but there needs to be a dash or something in there because it really threw me. I kept thinking, this has nothing to do with the basis. Anyway, I get it, but it's, this title doesn't say, to me,
I get what you're saying.
sufficiently about what it says.
You can see
But
where-
it has nothing to do with what the content is.
Yeah, you can see
The
where.
content is not what the title says.
I get what you're saying. You can see in 2022 when it was adopted, and then now you have a revision, just because that's what happens in our society. So we put in there where you can see stuff struck out and changed, just to keep you,
I just was thrown off, but as far as the content, no.
Okay,
I have questions. I'll start on the first policy,
okay.
graduation, and I guess this be the Don.
Yes, it is.
2053?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
On page 1, start with, at the bottom, cohort, they had to have 23, and the regular students 22, is that correct, according to this policy? And what's 23? Is it because embedded credit or something, or what?
Okay, the freshman class, this year's freshman class will have to have 23 credits to graduate.
Okay,
That's why the 23 is there. Everyone else is 22 credits. So the 24-25 freshman class has 23 credits,
What's it?
and then everyone else has 22.
Go back to that class.
So the freshman class has.
here's what I read, it says, amendment graduation requirements for the 2024-25 freshman cohort class. So what's a cohort?
That's their class.
That's class, okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to have 23 from now on,
Yes,
Yes.
this freshman class coming in,
Yes, freshmen and beyond,
right?
yeah.
So it'll be 20,
23.
after that, everybody, I mean, well, it'd be.
Yes,
in
freshmen down to pre-K unless they
Gotcha.
change the law.
Yeah, again, it could.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yep.
Second page,
All right.
the, like the second paragraph, the board shall develop and implement within their attendance policy procedures, definition of compelling circumstances under which students may attend school for fewer than 4 years, or may be scheduled for courses for less than a full instructional day. Who would that who would that be possible?
So that would be an administrative guideline, kind of, and we would work with Ms. Hedrick and the curricular folks. Actually, all of us here would, as all directors, would work on developing what we would say that would constitute.
So we're having trouble with student attending school,
It's
something like
just
that, or
another
something?
way to graduate early,
Early graduation.
for early
Through
graduation.
what method? This is where they develop?
What we develop, yes, sir. Yeah.
Because some kids get those credits quicker than others, and, you know, if they want to get out early, then we need to have a procedure to help them exit early.
But they must master what they're taking.
That's true, yes. That'll be part of the procedures,
Most
yes.
of our high schools already have it.
They do.
They do.
And is there a difference in, are we seeing a difference in our virtual students versus our in-person students in the early graduation rate?
We have more.
In the
More
virtual?
More, yes.
Yeah.
Virtual graduate sooner,
Okay.
early graduates.
I think
They're on
this,
pace, I guess, don't they?
this style of learner is different than the ones in this room. They have more options than ever before. I know some kids are doing, they'd rather be at home getting their work done and then go to FIT. That's another option I'm hearing a lot of. So, I get it. I get it.
The physical education credit,
Yes,
option 1, traditional physical education course.
yes, sir.
Option 2, integrated physical education.
Okay, so that means you can get PE a number of ways besides your traditional. So if you have ROTC for 2 years, you can get a PE credit for that. You can also get experiential physical education.
A what?
Experiential, so from any experience. For example, well, Mr. Harper was here. His son is doing an experiential, is he still around?
I'm right here.
Can you want to talk about like the experiential PE that Isaiah has?
So Isaiah's taking PE, he actually does it in the evenings, and anytime he does, which he puts his sports in there, where he plays basketball right now, any exercise he does, he has to keep up with it and turn it into the phys ed teacher at end of each 9 weeks, so that he gets a grade for it, so he actually gets a grade for it.
How do we decide what programs we'll accept
So it's
to
in the
get
policy.
physical education credit?
There, it is in the policy here, which ones that.
I read it on through, but
Yes, sir.
are we into the area now, ROTC, band?
Not banned.
Not banned yet.
Football,
You know, but-
basketball.
I mean, sports?
No,
I hope we don't,
no, not.
to me,
Yes.
we hear a lot about our children not being physically fit.
That's true.
And physical education is one way to at least encourage them to do things that'll keep them fit. But I understand and respect what we said here. Page 4 or 6. It says, option 5 is not option 5. Junior ROTC 1 and 2,
Yes.
non-graded PE credit. That's what you're talking about?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
So what that then means is they get the PE credit, but they don't receive a PE grade. So the credit is towards
Sure.
graduation. Yes.
And the ROTC is probably another good option if they wish to do that.
Yes,
I understand that. Other alternative means to earn high school credit,
yes.
okay? Well, I mean, what, do we have all kinds of alternative opportunities?
We do, we do.
And where do you find those at,
So
Don?
that would be, it says prior to grade 9. So what that means is the children that have Algebra 1 in the 8th grade can get that high school credit.
Okay,
Spanish 1 in the 8th grade can get that high school credit. We want to make sure that it's in policy that those children receive that high school
okay,
credit.
good, good. I'm gonna stop there on this policy.
Okay.
Mr. President, thank you on that policy. Can we keep going, or we'll do a policy at a time, or what?
Any other, let's see, yeah, just do a policy at a time. Any other questions or comments on 2053? And I think we've touched on 2054. Any other questions on it?
Which one's that?
That was one Miss Whitlock asked about.
And that really needed to be updated because Mr. Harper is now our Title IX person.
Yeah.
And we had to update the policy with his name as the Title IX contact.
Yeah, that's some, I go back off those questions.
All right.
Covered.
Let's go to 2055. Any questions or comments on guidance and counseling?
I'm getting there, Mr. President.
And so we had to update that because the law changed with the number of students that were assigned to counselors for the ratio. And that was why that one was changed.
Which one, you want guys as counselors?
Yes, guidance and counseling.
Okay,
Do you have any questions on that?
I did.
But that was just a minor change, a ratio change. Yeah.
You know, I know it's been in the policy, but I had a question on, as far as the ratio of what a counselor, how many counselors we have in each school. Are we pretty much on track with those numbers? Do we have that kind of coverage in all our schools?
Yes, we do.
Elementary and,
We do, we're good with that.
and then on, now I'm gonna show my, maybe I should know this, but these acronyms give me some time. CSCP.
What page are you on?
Oh, that's the counseling plan.
It's what?
It's the counseling plan. It is an acronym for school counseling support plan. Okay?
Counselor,
Comprehensive,
Are you asking about the CSCP
yeah,
plan?
go on page 2 or 3.
school counseling.
Go to page 1. You gotta
Is
go
it
back.
there?
Yeah, go back to page 1.
I missed it then, I didn't see that.
Well, you know what? I get cross-eyed with this stuff too.
I guess it now. Comprehensive School Counseling Program, okay.
Yep, it's
I
that.
should have called myself, not done.
Well, that's all right.
That's all right. And Mr. President, I think I'm gonna stop.
All right. Any other comments on 2055? All right, let's move on to 2056.
The 2056 is a new policy, and this one defines male and female, and it also defines bathrooms and who can use a bathroom and who cannot use a bathroom according to male and female, and then changing rooms.
And this is a new policy,
Yes, sir,
correct?
it's a new one.
Where did, I mean, this came from the state?
Yes, it did.
All right. Hearing no questions on that, 2057, artificial intelligence.
That's a new policy too.
Now, I've heard of that.
Yeah, this is on.
I give you a headache reading this.
We need to have a policy on AI because we're using it so much.
Who's our AI experts?
Who are they?
Yeah.
Everyone in this room. All
Everyone.
our directors.
So I'm asking you any question,
Yes, sir.
you can answer it.
That's exactly right.
I have no question.
I was gonna say, you don't even know what question to ask just yet, do
Well,
you?
I read it.
Yeah. I think we're on that same position, Coach.
Someone might have used AI to write the AI policy.
They did. Ms.
Tough to
Hedrick-
follow.
Yeah, Ms. Hedrick left, but she used AI today to write a policy for homeless, which she gave to me, be coming to you soon. She used AI for that.
And just to share with this, tomorrow within our empowerment schools, the students are invited to a session with Dr. David Wiley from Marshall, who's going to talk to them about use of AI and any questions that these students have. So these are your 6 through 8 students that are going to participate. I don't know how many we're going to have jump on that, but I do know Midland Trail has sent some questions in, and Oak Hill
I wish I
Middle
was gonna be in
was
town, I
good.
could come listen to it.
Well, it's going to be a Zoom. It's a Zoom
Oh, I
call.
like
so-
Zoom.
I was gonna say, as soon as you said online, I knew it.
So, But,
I do need to have some kind of, I'll speak for myself, maybe the rest of these guys are pretty sharp on it. AI, I need to have some real in-service for me.
We'd be happy to do that.
And Coach, I don't mean to, I'm not trying to make fun, but I watched 60 Minutes this past weekend, and one thing that AI talked about is AI also can hallucinate. I know that sounds funny, but what it means by hallucinating is it takes information that it's picking up that might not be true, but then it tries to use it, but it doesn't fit just right. But that's like us as humans. You hear half the facts, you believe it, and then you talk to someone else about it, then it becomes, in the technical world, a hallucination of the facts.
What I've heard
So we're learning
is
about that.
concerning to me.
Well, there's a lot of positives and there's a lot of negatives.
I saw that same program, and it said in there that AI has become the friend of all hackers.
Yep.
It has made it so easy for hackers.
Yeah.
It's quicker, it's faster, and it's easier. And it's harder to trace.
So that's why we need to educate our children on it, because they're the number one person they'll hack, because if they get their social security number and ID, they can run up their credit before they even know about that. So we have to educate our population as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
So, but the other side of that is the kids looking for somebody to talk to. I mean, it's the same issue you have with any social media. I just, I'll send it to you all, but Tall Cop that I've talked to a lot over, you've done it probably, but I heard he's got a national conference going on. There's a speaker at that conference today, and he was talking about luring kids using AI. So that's another piece of that, a plan of the destruction of a school, a suicide, the kinds of things that are sick in our society. It takes it to another level.
Yeah. And even these sessions with Dr. Wiley, it was interesting because things come up that we probably may not even think about.
No,
So
that's right.
one of those topics of conversation is, an art student can go in and use any of the AI to create artwork, right? So what is the copyright laws for that? Yeah, so there was a lot of good discussion that our art teachers had on that and the students. So that with AI, for it to work, you have to monitor it. You have to check it. We are the checkers, right? Because AI, as you stated, it can see things that's incorrect.
Right.
So you can't take AI and just say it's perfect and it's right all the time, because it's not always right? So, anyway, sorry to digress.
That's they say you don't Google things anymore. You chat GPT them or you grok them, whatever platform you're using.
Right.
It's the new thing.
With us, it's Copilot, because we use Microsoft. I know what
There
you're
you go.
saying. You're right.
Yep, we use it in healthcare a lot.
Yep.
So.
Yep, you're right.
All right, next item, 2058, any questions on embedded credit?
So we started a new course at FIT, the law. This is for the law course, and so it gives us an embedded credit of English. If the students can receive English in the law and public safety course. And that was just an addition.
So, an embedded credit, they can get, you get 2 credits? Or
No, it's just like the PE and ROTC. So they get the credit without the grade.
So in electricity for transition math for
Yes.
seniors, they can take, if they're in the electricity class at FIT,
Yes. And
they don't have to take the math
They
at
don't
the
have to
school,
take
they
math.
they get math credit.
Yes, sir, that's right. So they get the grade for drafting, but they also get a credit for math.
Okay.
So it's not 2 grades. It's 1 grade, but 2 different credits.
So how many credits in math, how many credits you have to have in math now to graduate?
4.
4. So I have 3 from the high school. I'm in electricity.
And I can get 1.
I can count my 4th math credits embedded.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Okay.
And this only changed by adding the law enforcement
At the very
to
bottom.
the policy. Right.
That was the last one.
And it was all laws.
The one that's underlined at the bottom, yep.
I got you.
Okay, that's all our policies. Any other questions on those? Okay. And our last item's a contract with New River Contracting. Any questions on that one? All right. Tim, any comments on that?
No, I know we discussed this before, we were just waiting for your approval, and we can get started and work over there.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion second, we've had good conversation, so all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, our consent calendar, we've got items 3009 through 3013. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Coach Ray, thank you, Mr. Groom, and I'll open the floor for questions.
I have more comment than question if I may.
No, absolutely.
I know Mr. Warble called, he's called a couple extracurricular committee meetings. And those guys we said before come to us as advisors. You know, they don't make decisions, but we have a lot of good discussion. And one thing that's come up, and I'm not saying I'm going to vote for this as it looks here, but in our athletic teams, in particular wrestling, and I know it's changing this year in wrestling, Division I, II, whatever, but there's a lot of out of the area travel overnight. So there's bound to be some class time missed. And I know before talking to us, when they appeared before us, wrestling coaches said, well, they want to get that experience wrestling other people. And I respect that as an old coach, teacher, whatever, I understand that. But at some point, with the economy the way it is, and how much money we're taking out of our community, whether it be the businesses contributing, parents contributing, we got to be careful, in my opinion, how much we take out. Because we do a lot of extra things after school hours in travel that has to be paid for. And it'd be nice if we, down the road, that our schools can look at things they can do closer to home, or even have their own big tournaments or whatever. But we just, taking kids out of school all the time, and some of it's over the holidays and stuff too, I know that. But that kind of travel is concerning, and I'm not the one that's brought it up, it's been our committee as well. So I think we need to be careful with that as we move forward down the road. Thank you, Mr. President.
I do have a question, and Coach, again, you represent us on the extracurricular, and this kind of falls in that category. I thought we had put together a policy, especially on trips like this, out-of-state requests to go to Dollywood, that we wanted to try to eliminate as much class time impact as possible. This is a Wednesday.
End of the year thing.
Yeah, so were we trying to push those to Fridays? Where did we land on that?
I'd have to look back, Ms. Wool was new with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I just tell you that, Mr. President, to see what you're asking. I know we have discussed that, yes. And I can't give you a good answer on Mr. Wolvel. Like I said, just come on board with the committee. So I'm not sure. I have to look at it.
Okay.
Sorry.
So,
It was
again,
discussed, are you correct?
okay. Yeah, I knew we had talked about it. I didn't know if we put anything formally in
Right.
place.
I cannot recall
We
either.
did talk about it, though. We said we were trying to eliminate all of school time.
Yeah, so, okay, so something maybe if we can check into.
I agree. I'll look through some of my notes I have as well, Mr. Wolvel.
Yeah, and I don't know with this, if it's because it's Divide and it's their last year to get, is that the one you're talking about here on the May
Well,
20th?
this one, yeah, the
Yeah.
3009, but it kind of goes for all of
Yeah.
all of those out-of-state trip requests.
End of the year, they get kind of, we've already approved a couple before this, I think.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, if we could just take that back and look at it, but any other questions on these items? And it seems like wrestling is one of those that is an outlier.
And I understand the rationale, what they're trying to do. At some point, they're going to be more conservative with what they're doing here.
Yeah.
And the principal's got to approve it. So they got to put some thought in that as well.
All right, if there's no other questions, we've got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving to finance, items 4021 through 4023. We already looked at some of that on the scorecard. Paula, anything additional to add? Okay. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Groom. Thank you, Mr. Chris. Any questions for Superintendent or Paula?
Just refresh my memory on, under schools cash balances, the definition of unrestricted, where does that money come from and what can it be spent on? because there's a huge variety in the amount. You've got one at 1,500 and one at 60,000.
Unrestricted, it could come from several different places. It could be donations that people don't place restrictions on, locker money, it could come from several different places. Restricted is usually a class project, your athletics, your different classes that fit have restricted funds that they use to enhance their curricular activities.
But I still, one of them just jumps out. Do you know what my new primary has $60,000 in unrestricted money? And the rest of them all have less than 10, except one?
That's potentially because they put more restrictions on it. The other schools just put more restrictions on it.
Okay.
Those restrictions can be placed by the principal and for the fundraising activities or. And a lot of the restricted funds are capital Senate funds that they held on to for a long time.
Would you like us to deeper
No,
dive on it?
I just wondered if anybody else thought it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
what
It is an
that?
anomaly.
That's a whole lot compared to everybody else.
And you might expect that out of, if Oak Hill Middle and Oak Hill High was in line with it too, so.
Okay.
What about fundraising? Does that go into?
Well, if you want to talk about that real quick, we met with extracurricular, and that's part of the report card that we're looking at with how many fundraisers are the schools having. I would like to see this under my leadership, if you guys would support this, is you talk about restricting, I think we need to start restricting fundraisers. One, we've had a little situation, a hiccup, and that's that investigation we're doing at the middle school. But second, when you just start having fundraisers and there's no rationale, and the only rationale I hear is, well, we've always done it this way. Well, but have you thought about why you're raising the money and what's the return on the investment? Let's think that through a little bit more. So like at the Oak Hill campus, already we're at 40 fundraisers at that campus. And you have quite a few at the New River Primary when you talk about a lot of fundraising. And I'm not trying to call them out, I'm just seeing that why are we having so many fundraisers and thousands of dollars being asked of our people when we already do an excess levy? Let's be a little bit smarter and judicious about it as we move forward is what I'm asking the group to look at. So with the extracurricular committee, I've asked them to go back to their buildings and let's start doing an inventory on our inventory, what we get when we do these fundraisers, and what is the return on our investments, and why are we doing these trips? Are they worthwhile, and are they educational, or are we just going to have a good time? So we have to really think a little bit harder about fundraising because our people do not need to be taxed anymore or asked of anymore. And as we move into the next school year and not sure of how we're going to be funded from the federal government, we need to be very cautious as we head forward with fundraisers. And when I see this little miss and little mister, and Coach, you heard me say this, that's a lot of money for these cheerleading, and football costs a heck of a lot more than cheerleading. And I'm not picking on cheerleading, but when you dress a football player at $2,000 a player, and cheerleading has a lot less that they wear, I'm not picking on these two, I'm just saying, what's the return on our investment when you're asking for a lot of money for new uniforms every year? That could be one issue. Or could we be a little bit more judicious and say, can we carry uniforms a few more years out and not just get new all the time because, well, everybody else is doing it? We got to be a little bit smarter about how we're asking for money from our people when you're looking at an excess levy. That's all I'm asking. As a taxpayer as well, I'm just looking out for, we're asking an awful lot of money from our people. We're asking for these fundraisers from our children going out soliciting people to say, will you give X? So one thing that we thought about doing next school year is we take in a lot of money, cash. So let's go to e-ticket, full blow next year. We're going to start doing it, implementing during the winter season because it's easier indoors with basketball and wrestling. But for the next school year, with e-tickets, maybe what we do is we add an extra $1 on there to say that could be our fundraiser for that school system, because it's a lot easier when I buy an e-ticket to say, oh, an extra $1 goes to the athletic fund or the cheerleading fund or something. We could, I'm just using examples. It's a lot of talk right now, but we need to have more conversations on being judicious when we ask people for their money, because it's getting a little too much from my point of view as a taxpayer. Now, as a superintendent, I really don't like using our kids to get more money either, because I think that's a terrible way to ask for money.
If you drive down 60, get to a school, whether it's Valley or Riverside or wherever, you see the cheerleaders out with buckets. You see the football players doing the same thing. Now, again, I'm old as dirt, but what I remember when I was coaching, when I took my first coaching job, I was told you have to do so many fundraisers every year. And I don't know if it's that way now, but a lot of coaches have been told you need to do fundraisers. If you expect to have pads conditioned, helmets conditioned, things like that, you've got to raise the money to get it done, because we don't have it in our budgets. Now, I don't know if schools have it in their budgets to where they can give the football team this much for conditioning. A lot of it came from what you made at the gates. Well, if you got a losing team, you ain't gonna make a lot of money because people ain't gonna come. So you got to get out there and do fundraisers.
Or they sit at home and watch it.
Yeah, you got to get it for our. Yeah,
Well,
you got to get.
volleyball's not gonna make what football.
And
is.
No, you're right.
golf is not,
Gonna make what
right.
golf, you know, I mean.
Soccer and things like that.
Football,
that's why
basketball
fundraisers-
players.
Is there an approval process for fundraisers, or if I want to go do a fundraiser, I just say, I'm
Give
gonna
it
go.
to your principal.
Well, as Coach will tell you, I think we've gotten away with, it's gotten a little out of hand, and I think we need to put some
Right.
restrictions on it and go towards administrative guidelines to say, if a principal will okay it, that's fine, but let's vet it through this before we just say, let's do a fun, because everybody just says, let's do a fundraiser, and it's like, but what are you doing with, are you asking people to go out and get money from people? It just looks bad when you ask kids to go do that kind of stuff. And I know what you're saying, Coach. You've done it the old-fashioned way. I remember doing that, Coach. You got to raise money. I get it. But we got to start thinking a little differently how to bring money in.
The other thing that's done is they put the kids up against each other for competing for more money. I've seen that in the position I've been, you probably have too, where my kids got to raise $250 towards X.
Yeah.
You know, and then, okay, my mom knows somebody at such and such, and then the other kid who's living in a trailer, you know, with his dad, it doesn't have a car, doesn't have that opportunity.
Right.
And it really, to me, it's a mental thing, it's a stigma thing with some kids and some families. If you take in 5 foster kids, you're a great person and you're gonna get some per kid to take care of them, but you're not gonna be able to suit them all up for cheerleading competitions or basketball or, you know, whatever. So it's really off, I think it's off kilter.
That's what we're talking about. We, as a committee, we feel that we just gotta get something a little bit under control.
A little bit more balance.
Yeah, and you know, you want to have fundraisers, you have activities.
There are.
But it's gotta be through our school administrators and onto the central office. There's gotta be some kind of little bit of controlling factor to make sure it's not being overused. You know, you got, at the end, a business sitting there, and you got 10 teams, separate teams, hitting up money,
Ben,
and that kind of stuff.
Ben, a booster down at Riverside. They brought all the coaches in, cheerleading, everybody. Every coach came in, and the principal demanded that they give them a budget of what they needed to operate on a yearly basis. Okay? And they gave them a budget, and they used that budget to determine, you know, we could do the same thing and use it as a means of determining how much fundraiser you can do.
We're going to get there. I think just me putting a toe in the water with the extracurricular and having another meeting, I think we're going to get there. We just want to bring something to the table at some point by saying, We're gonna keep discussing, we're gonna keep working on this.
Rein it in some.
Yeah, we'll weigh in.
So when you do PBIS trips, incentive trips, that kind of thing, is that something the schools each have to raise money for? Or is that something? Okay.
I don't want to speak out of turn since I've been gone 5 years from this county, but I say PBIS is all over the place in each county, but specifically, Ms. Dooley could probably hit that one out of the park for you.
Yeah, so when we started PBIS, we had a step 7 funding source for it, and then we backed away from that after we had it for a few years. So there is no funding source for
So
it.
some of this unrestricted fundraising, I'm just trying to sort the piles here. There's
So am I.
an educational reason that somebody gets to go to the movies. You know, I'm just, we've got to sort out what, like you said, the results. This is a group of kids who did A, B, and C, and they get a reward, and this is the
Right,
reward.
and since we're doing the Empowerment Initiative, this is a good PBL for the kids to maybe work on. I mean, honestly, because I think the kids need to be part of this to say, how do you feel about this? What's some ideas? Because asking people for money all the time, it gets a little much, but.
Okay, let me lay another one out there for you. Any athletic, and I'm gonna say athletic, any athletic money that comes to the school, it's on the discretion of the principal to spend that money any way that they want to, as long as it deals with education. So now you got a football team that's successful. Say they make $100,000 this year. And the principal decide, hey, I'm gonna take that money and I'm gonna buy new computers, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Now, when that coach comes and asks, he said, hey, I need to get some new uniforms. I'm sorry, you don't have any money. I had that happen to me, so I know that happens. These principals decide, I'm not gonna take that money for
Yeah.
sports, I'm gonna use it for something else, and they can do that. Because I called the State Department about that. They told me, yeah, they can spend it for anything they want to.
Well,
So
I
that's
think,
another issue.
I think like Coach said, we're going to try to rein that in. And I think it's a good start. We've had 2 extracurricular meetings, and you can see how much we've discussed. It gets dicey with that. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just everybody brings their point of view to the table, and that's good. It's just trying to rein in herding fish, not cats, because cats are easier to herd than fish. So anyway, I'll leave it at that.
Very good. I agree that it's something we should look at and applaud the
I agree too.
extracurricular committee for taking that on. So. Okay, we have a motion and second. Any other questions on finance? All right, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving to one of the largest areas of our agenda, personnel. We've got items 5107 through 5120.
Mr. President, I'd like to request an executive session, personnel issue.
All right, so I've got a motion on the floor. Got a second to go into executive session to discuss